All right, guys. As you guys move into and start progressing into this course material, um, in your pursuit of being a better officer, eventually someday being an officer, I have a thought for you. And it's something that I want you to kind of ponder and hang on to as you work through this course. Um, I teach a in-person strategies and tactics class for my graduating sophomore students. These are the kids that are typically in their fourth semester, getting ready to graduate, um, and I teach it from a standpoint of applying all the tasks that they've learned to a tactical and strategic level of thinking. So I make them officers on engine companies. They're the first in engine company, and they have to put the strategies and tactics together that's going to be successful in a given scenario. When we do a standard garden variety house fires, apartment fires, strip malls, old folks home, that kind of thing. And then what sound strategies and tactics are there to implement in these types of situations? I think it's a very important class for them to have because it stretches their understanding beyond just putting the wet stuff on the red stuff, dragging their knuckles and being a Goomba. It's actually using their head and looking at a fire from an educated standpoint, not just a grunt power. But here's what I have for you guys, and this is what I want you to think about. The strategies and tactics that I'm teaching, the things that we're talking about, are very generic. They're covered general applications that can be found from coast to coast in this country. And although they're sound, um, I dare say that over time, um, they may very well, uh, at best, not be overly applicable anymore. We're teaching things like OVM, bent inner, isolate, search, things like that. I mean, those are kind of the things. Those fall towards the bottom end of tasks, more into or bottom ends of tactics, more into tasks. But those are kind of things that we're talking about. The overall strategies and tactics will probably always be there, but the ability to look at the situation and kind of reevaluate and readjust that kind of tactical task level of things, that's always kind of cutting edge. That's always ever changing. So here's my point to you guys. What I want you to think about is that although I think it's very critical that we all continue to talk strategies and tactics, all of us continue to have coursework and thought process. We need to go to FDIC and take classes on it. I need to continue to teach. I think this class that I'm teaching is absolutely critical to the curriculum. Although I think that all of us need to continue to read the literature, see what the latest thing out there, what somebody else has found. Hey, this works really well for us. I think my point to you guys is that there's a notion that elite combat troops use. Navy SEALs, in particular, is where it's called cover and move, and the principle is that I'm going to cover for you, and you move up, and you're going to cover for me, and I'm going to move up, and I'm going to cover for you, and you and we're going to cut, and it's the concept is leapfrogging over each other, and aiding each other to continue to move forward and make the mission better. The thought process here that I have for you guys in this is what this tells me is that with the proper foundation in academia, experiences should be quantum leaps in understanding. If you've got the foundation of the strategies and tactics, hey, what's the difference between strategies and tactics, and what are we trying to accomplish with the mission? Life safety, instant stabilization, property consummation. That's leader's intent. That's what the overall mission is. What success looks like. The successful mission would look like when we accomplish life safety, instant stabilization, property conservation. What strategies and tactics do we implement in order to get that done in this particular setting? I think the greatest teacher that we can have once we've got that educational foundation is learning from our mistakes. And when I say our mistakes, I'm talking specifically your company's mistakes, your department's mistakes. And so my point to you is that you grow into your officer role, as you become a leader, as you become an officer, I would challenge you to constantly build a culture within at least your company, if not try to do it in your department, of how can we do better tomorrow than we did today? What can we learn from our mistakes of today? And how can we develop a culture to continue to educate our subordinates, our juniors that are eventually going to take our place? How can we empower them with all the knowledge we have in the hopes that they'll surpass us in our understanding of the incident so that they can always do better than what we did? And I think you do that by debriefing your incidents. I think you do that by making the concepts of strategies and tactics ultimately relevant to your specific situation. And so that's why I challenge you that every time you come back from any type of significant run, I would hope that your department would sit down. If there's multiple companies there, all the companies there would sit down and say, hey, what have we learned from what can we didn't do the best we can do, because we never do the best we can do. We never do. Perfection is not achievable on this planet. So ask the question, how can we do better the next time? And then let those junior people sit in there and listen and offer up and continually grow and learn internally, not just from the class they took from me, not just from something they read in a magazine or a course they took at FDIC, but internally from you. How can they learn from you? And how can you learn from you to grow and do things better? Because I don't know that I'm always going to be able to offer relevant course content to grow as quickly as we need to grow. You know, a textbook takes anywhere between 3 to 5 years to put out. By the time I get it in my hand, it's 5 years old. Man, as quickly as things are changing, that stuff is irrelevant in most cases. Good foundation, but we could definitely do better than probably what I'm teaching, I think is what I'm saying. And I think that it is unfounded with the thought that I'm going to be able to provide you with all the relevant strategies and tactics that you're going to find in your fire world today. Yeah, buddy.
It's time to eat.
Okay, thanks, man. I'll be there in a second. So my challenge to you guys as you work through this process, as you continue to your studies, continue to think about developing that mindset of developing a culture within at least your engine company, your ladder company, whatever it is that you're assigned to, and hopefully help to influence your department to say, man, how can we learn from ourselves so that we can do better tomorrow than we did today? Good luck in all your studies, guys. I appreciate it. Keep hammering it hard. And can't wait to see what you guys continue to produce. All right. Good luck.